Karma. At what point did my karma start? At what point did it end? At what point is it going to go further? At what point is it going to turn around? So, my question is for everybody listening to me right now, watching me right now, what is happening to you right now? Is it a product of what you did yesterday, or what you did 2 days ago, what you did last year? And what is about to happen to you tomorrow? Is it a product of what you're doing today, or what you did yesterday, what you're about to do? So, the question for today's podcast, if you don't know, welcome again. I'm your host, Almighty, and today we talking. Wow, seems like a lot's going on. And today we're talking about karma, action, reaction, the timing of it, more the timing of it than anything. Because the question has always been for me is that okay, fine, if we understand action and reaction, that makes sense. But at what point does the action, I guess, get its reaction? You feel what I'm saying? I asked this question because my life, you know, just like everybody else, I've, been going through things, and when you go through things, you wonder, especially when you've been on a straight path, maybe doing something consistently for a while, and yet the result you're getting is not consistent with what you or not what you expect, from such an action, or it's so wobbly, but yet you're doing the same thing over and over again. You get to ask yourself, why is the reaction different every time when I'm doing the same thing, And of course, if you're someone that likes to, look into yourself introspectively, or however way they call that word, right? You end up, questioning yourself a lot, which ends up resulting in doubt, right? So me myself, I've gone through that a lot, and I'm constantly currently even going through that. I think it might be a lifelong thing for all of us. I don't know. Some people probably not. But for me, I know for sure currently is something, that I've gone through. And I'm thinking, I've taken a lot of knowledge. If you don't know, I'm a deep spiritual individual, what I mean? Conscious, all that good stuff. I don't like the word woke because I really don't. I'm not subscribed to societal stuff, right? So for me, I'm just me, right? And I constantly looking into myself, as well as taking in information and learning about, life. For me, the journey is, or the main issue with life is not just to achieve the big goals I want to achieve, but also to find out what was the purpose of this whole thing. What is the purpose of life, or what are we doing this whole thing for? You know what I'm saying? Um, beyond that, what is my purpose? You know what I'm saying? Is there even a purpose? You know what I'm saying? I ask the questions, I go as far as asking questions of God and all these two things. It's just I'm deep about it. You know what I mean? So of course I'm spending time a lot looking into myself, trying to figure out everything about life. And when you get different results when you're doing the same thing, and then you looking introspectively, and you asking yourself, at what point did this karma hit? The karma I'm experiencing right now, is it from what I did previously? Or what? Like, because if I'm doing the same thing, but I'm experiencing different results, different times, why is that the case? Isn't it supposed to be A plus B equals C, or 1 plus 1 equals 2? Could it be 1 plus 1 equals 3? Why is it 3 if that's the case? And then maybe 1 plus 1 again equals 5. Why is it 5? I thought it was always supposed to be 2, right? So these are the questions that had been hitting me, and I've been wondering about. So it kind of had me, you know, put it up in front of y'all, right? And as I said, I'm trying to be more consistent with the podcast. By the way, welcome again to the Almighty Vibes podcast. I don't think I introduced earlier, right? I am Almighty, and this is my podcast where basically I, just talk, deep stuff, and of course, if you're resonating with anything I'm sharing, let me know in the comments, as well as like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, so I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering, why the experience is different. Why the results are different, but the actions are the same. And as I said, if karma is a thing, that means karma probably does not respect time, right? That's probably that's kind of the summation I end up coming to, because it's like, if I cannot predict per se when, if I'm doing the same thing and I can't predict how the reaction is going to be, then at some point, you know, um, I should just accept that it's going to happen, right? Because I was thinking about it this way. I was like, if, what's the point of changing, from just say bad to good if you're still going to be experiencing the results of, or the, whatever of the bad, right? The repercussions of the bad, right? While you're good. But someone explained it to me like this, right? And this is a Buddhist as well. He told me, it was like, it's like, you've been building this thing up. You have to drench it all out, right? Cleanse it completely through, and then while the new one is piling on. So, you can think about it like, I guess I could use like a call log, right? If the call log you have of, negative stuff, negative stuff, negative stuff, and you just start putting in the positive stuff, you still got all these negative stuff that you kind of got to see on your screen up until, you got to log in enough positive stuff for it to kind of wipe that out. So you still got to go through the karmic, karmic order, or the karma, of those negative things up until positive. So while you've changed, you still got to still experience that. So maybe perhaps why I'm experiencing the same things is because my previous um, actions, right, were so heavily, built up. So what I'll probably have to do is stay consistent, and eventually when the change starts happening, because of my consistency, it's also going to be consistent. It's like, I think about it also in like creating your world. You know how they say your mind is what creates your world. So every thought you have, this also plays into karma, right? Every thought you have creates your world, right? So that means that every single thought you have, everything you've thought about, every whatever, right? um that moment, that split second when you thought of something negative, right, it's going to come into play, right? And it's like, I guess there can't be that much consistency in it, if you get what I'm saying, if we're going by thought, because thought is like, what I'm saying, like to think of something is, it's pretty, what I mean. And that's why they say meditate, because when you meditate, you can control your thoughts, thereby controlling your world, right? Meditation helps you in multiple ways, manifestation. But ultimately, the goal of meditation, the pure ultimate goal of meditation, is to control the mind, right? Not the brain, but the mind, right? Because the mind is what's producing this whole reality, right? So if we can meditate and control our thoughts completely, what I'm saying, watching every thought that comes through, we want it to be exactly what it is. That means our reality will, reflect that. Now, that sounds pretty hard to me. Like, I mean, difficult hard. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to anybody. Like, I don't know who can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna guess like maybe the monks. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what, that's what they be there for. That's the whole thing, right? Nirvana, right, is supposed to be not necessarily a place, but that mind state of absolute bliss, absolute self control, absolute. For me, what I figured, a while ago when I was sitting and thinking, well, meditating to be real. This was last year. What I arrived at in my meditation is that enlightenment, true enlightenment, is balance, right? Understanding and having full balance, like full control. You know what I'm saying? Balance isn't just one sided, it's full control, right? You know, way of good, evil, anger, sadness, like full balance on all spectrums, right? And understanding that life is balanced, and, you being balanced. That's what I think, saying full absolute control, you know what I'm saying? Which is balance, that's what I think enlightenment is. But what do I know? You know what I mean? I've definitely not achieved that, because as a human being, we have emotions, and we have good days, bad days, and all that. That's not, you know what I mean? So, balance, how put that way that will work. That worked out for me. But for back to what I was talking about, what I realized, as I said, talking about this whole thing, is that, karma or whatnot. One, it doesn't necessarily respect time, and then secondly, it could also be a situation whereby you have to drench yourself of all that, and also, or should I say, thirdly, we are constantly feeling our thoughts, or having negative thoughts and all this crazy thoughts. So our reality, of course, might still have those negative experiences and all that. And maybe that might be part of it because, as I was saying, balance, right? You can't have good without evil. So, of course, what I think is that when we experience life, life is not straight. It's never up, it's never down. Life is not like that. Life is literally like this, right? You have to go up and down. All we can hope for, or all we can work towards, or we can try to create, right, with our reality is more ups and shorter, smaller downs. More ups, shorter, smaller downs. In science, we call that oscillations, right? So you kind of just want to go on that wavelength, right? You kind of, I know if y'all seen waves or medical apparatus, like the ones that do the heart rate thing, they go beep beep beep. It kind of goes. That's a straight line where it's kind of going up and down the line. That's the same idea with life, right? You kind of want to have higher ups, less downs. But that's kind of the idea. I think for me, I would go with when it comes to life. But as I said, if we can't predict, or should we say, we can't predict the time, at which our karma is going to hit, you might as well just act right at all time, because you don't know if the karma that's hitting you right now is the karma from years ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of also why Buddhists say life is suffering, right? Because it's just unpredictable, and it's a lot. It's I've been really on that first noble truth, a lot. Trying to understand, like, because truthfully, like, life is suffering is a thing, but I think we're gonna cover that in a whole another video. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to keep that. Maybe that might be the video for the next time. Maybe tomorrow, whenever the next time I do decide to, do this. I'm trying to do this every day. We'll see how we can, how we gonna hold up with that. But the goal is to definitely come in here every evening time, nighttime like this, and have some good conversation with y'all, um, about deep stuff, life stuff, questions that I've had in my mind. Like, I have some questions like I remember, for example, like, I talk about God a lot, right? The concept of God, or who God is, or what God is, or different religions' idea of God. You know what I'm saying? And my idea of God, comparing it to different, people's ideas of God, right? And there's a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? Purpose, you know what I'm saying? It just, I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of, things, deep thoughts, and of course, if you enjoyed this little chit chat we had right here, you want to hear more, of course, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share it to somebody else that likes deep conversations. Let me know what you think about the video. Also, definitely let me know topics you want me to talk about, concepts. You got questions. I'm not claiming to know anything. These are just my opinion. Just my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to hear your thoughts on it as well, of course. This is your boy Almighty Ninja Boy in LA himself. You know what I mean? Check out all my other products. I got a clothing line, I got a music, comedy skits, all the channels, all that good stuff. Check them out. We ain't got to pay nothing for whatever, I mean. I think the clothes you do have to pay something, but you ain't got to get that, if you're trying to spend, you ain't got to spend, yeah, it's fine. But no, I appreciate everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to see y'all next time, basically. Stay mighty because we are all mighty. I am out.